This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Sariola. But before that, this video is brought to you by David Korn and Matthew Young. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Sariola map can be found off the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for PC players only. Now this is a 4X map. And what that means is that this map will contain 4 standard farm sim maps within it as far as its landmass. This map is 4 kilometers tall, north to south, and 4 kilometers wide, east to west. Now, we have yet to see a 4X map make its way and stay released on console. That is why I believe that this will probably forever be a PC-only release. Let's read a little bit of the description. Welcome to Sariola, a 4x4 kilometer fictional Finnish map. This map includes 307 fields with varying sizes and shapes, and most can be combined into larger fields. This map includes 24 sell points, including production chains, room for new production points with new options such as firewood and potato processing. This map supports all the standard features of Farm Sim 22, including precision farming. Start from one of the 3 pre-made farms or start completely from scratch. The weather also corresponds to conditions within Finland. During the snowy winters, there is time to carefully plan for the upcoming growing season. Choose the right plants for the short growing season in the Nordics, including new species of rye and broad bean. This map includes Finnish license plates, both white EU-based plates and yellow special purpose plates, and most of the buildings and decorations are made specifically for the Finnish style. Let's go ahead and load on in. And we are going to use the mods we typically use when we load into maps. That is additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. Now, I will tell you, if you happen to load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find that the main farms are built out exactly how you're going to see them here in new farmer mode, with the only exception being that you do not own any machinery, nor do you own any vehicles in those alternate game modes. Now, also, when you do load into this map for the very, very first time, you will actually start here at the train station. In fact, the train is just leaving after we got off it. And now it is up to us to make a go of it here on Sariola. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. And one of the very first thing that's going to stand out is, man, oh man, does this map have a lot of fields. 307, according to the PD, or according to the description. Now, as far as crops go, this map does not have all the standard crops that are available to us in Farm Sim 22. In fact, it is missing sugarcane, cotton, and olives. Now, unlike previous maps where we do take off points because you cannot sell crops that are available on the map, those crops have specifically been removed from the map. So you'll see over here, we do not have sugarcane, we do not have cotton, nor do we have olives specifically listed. But what we do have listed are the new crop in rye and broad bean. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland screen, and you will see that we do start out by owning farmland ID number 1. That can be bought for $273,000. That is the main starting farm here in new farmer mode. In addition, we own farmland 58 and 56. There are also 2 other farms available on the map. Farmland ID 200 is an arable farm that we can buy for $156,000. Then we have farmland ID 100 that can be bought for $145,000. And this specific farm has a horse area as well as chickens. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. The farmland lease screen shows us all of the viable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, if those farmlands include any field or fields, what is included, and then ultimately how much is that farmland going to cost us? So we can see here we've got several larger plots of land. Now, these are not associated with any fields, so these are most likely in the forest area. I do see that lots of the farmlands that do include fields include multiple fields within those farmlands. So here, for example, farmland 149 includes 5 fields, has a area of 11.69 hectares, and can be bought for over $1 million. Now, what we will do is we will then take a look at the various field sizes here in a moment with our field calculator screen. That is going to break down each specific field and show us the exact size of each of those fields. Here we have our field calculator screen. We have field 52 and 53 at the start. There's 1 hectare and 2.73 hectares respectively. And we'll just go ahead and kind of scroll through this listing here. Feel free to pause the video at any point in time if you want to see any specific field sizes in greater detail. Then you can cross-reference the field number or numbers that you're most interested in with the field calculator, with the farmland lease screen, to then get a general idea of how much the farmland is going to cost you to buy in order to get those specific fields. You're going to see a lot of these fields are between 1 hectare and, let's say, 3 hectares in size. So, of course, some outliers on either direction. And let's go ahead and take a look here and see how our precision farming soil map is being applied. This is a custom soil map. You're going to see we have a substantial amount of sandy loam and loam on this generic soil map. We have a very, very little bit of loamy sand and a modest amount of silty clay. Taking a look at our starting fields, field 52, it's a combination of silty clay and loam with a little sliver of sandy loam. Then field 53 is mostly sandy loam with a little bit of silty clay. Taking a look at our custom crop calendar, we do have quite an interesting planting and harvesting season here. Lots of our crops are going to have multiple planting seasons, specifically wheat, barley, and rye, for example. And then we have corn. Corn's interesting because we have a very narrow planting season in May, but we do not have a harvest season scheduled. If you are going to play with the crop counter enabled, I would suggest not planting corn until this map gets updated, because I got a feeling that the harvest season for corn is probably supposed to be in October, kind of line up with sunflowers, but it is not defined, or it's just not registering for some reason. But we do have our general harvest schedule for the crops that are included on the map, as well as rye and broad bean. Taking a look at our prices screen, we do indeed have the ability to sell all of the crops that are available to plant on this particular map. So we are not going to be taking off points because the fact that sugarcane, cotton, and olives have been physically removed from the map. We do have also the ability to sell our eggs, wool, and milk, as well as our silage, hay, straw, and grass. Taking a look down through the base game production items, we do indeed have the ability to sell all of the base game production items that are available to us here on the map. In addition to that, we do have the ability to buy bulk lime, and we also have the ability to sell our stones. Here we have multiple sell points for rye, as well as broad bean. We also have potatoes washed. Now, while I do not think that there is a potato washer built into the map, it is available in the build mode, which we'll take a look at here in a little bit. We do have custom firewood built into the map. And then if you are taking a look to actually do any of the platinum expansion production items here on this kind of forestry / farming map, then you will need to put down your own platinum expansion selling point. And lastly, if you are playing with pumps and hoses, you do have the ability to sell separated manure. Taking a look at our starting fleet, we do start with a small list of vehicles. They are all new. None of them are leased. They are all owned at the start. We do not have any animals at the start. We also do not own any production chains at the start, and this map does have contracts. Then lastly, we are making use of the 100 Elm Creek collectibles as well here on the map. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. We start up by owning the Valtra Valmet 8750 medium tractor, as well as the Massey Ferguson 3670. We have our Dutzfar Topliner 4090H harvester that is paired up with the Topliner 4090H grain header and header trailer. We have our 1986 pickup truck, as well as the TDK 301 RP trailer. We have a Servo 25 plow, as well as the Torino 3FX cultivator with a Nordstein HK NS 3030 seeder and power harrow combo. We have the Amazon ZATS 3200 fertilize spreader. And we have a Quickie Q6M front loader arms. And for the front loader arms, we have a universal bucket. Taking a look down at our mods and DLCs page, you will see that we do not have any custom vehicles or implements that are available here on the map. Now I'm just going to quickly tab over to our starting farm. Again, this is Farmland ID 1. You see it here represented on the PDA. And we have a custom silo that is located right here. Now, when we walk up to it, it is going to be denoted as a package dryer. This is our silo. So we have our dump point there. And then around the side of the building, we have our fill pipe. Then the rest of the farm is custom buildings. So we have our Valtra tractor, our trailer. Our harvester is in the adjoining bay to the right. And then to the left, we have our maintenance bay. Our maintenance bay has our Massey Ferguson tractor. And then this is kind of a combo door. So we have a people door. That way you can open and close. And then to open the main door, we're going to come over here to the side where the button is located in order to fold out the main door. Now, what I would like to see here are markers indicating the exact range of the maintenance trigger. It does look like it extends outside ever so slightly. So if you do have something big enough that you cannot get inside of here, it does look, as long as you kind of poke your nose all the way up to the door, you will have it within the trigger. But I would like to see just generally those outlines marked. As far as our farmhouse goes, we do have to go inside in order to get to the sleep trigger. And I want to warn you, for anybody that might be claustrophobic, the door is going to shut on its own and it's going to slam shut. It can be a little concerning if you're not expecting it. So here we have our sleep trigger. Oh, and there we had the door slamming. So again, we have the sleep trigger inside, and let me get out of here. And then you'll see the door just shuts on its own, and it just slams. So something to be aware about, because if you're not expecting it, it can be a little disconcerting. Nice little custom building here, decorative building. Then down around, just around the corner in this little woods, got another small kind of decorative building here. We got a little storage shed for the rest of our starting equipment. Now, I will tell you that all of the buildings here and decorative items here at the starting farm, the fact that all three farms can be sold. So the farms are completely and totally customizable. Let's come out here and take a look at build mode, because this map does include some custom buildings and sheds. Those are located right here. These are going to be buildings and sheds that we're going to find scattered around at the pre-placed farms. We also do have custom silos in our package dryers. We have that one. And then we have this model here. This model rotates 90 degrees, whereas this one rotates 360. Size extensions, containers, and tools are all fairly standard. We do have the ability to put down some custom farmhouses. Then when we move into production, we do have 2 custom production items. We have our potato grading plant. This is again where we can do washed potatoes. I do not believe that this is pre-placed on the map, but we do have the ability to put those down. Then we have a firewood processor. And this I do know is pre-placed on the map. Under selling points, we have a custom selling point for our firewood. And then we do have a custom horse pasture that we can put down. This is also over at Farmland 100. Standard decorative items. And if we take a look at our landscaping, we do have some custom ground textures. Are some interesting ground textures. We have our animal mud. We have our asphalt. We have concrete, dirt, forest ground, grass, dry grass, regular gravel, which is what we have here, more grass, and rocks. If we take a look at our plants, we got fairly standard plants and fairly standard trees. Here we have our paintable ground textures. Guess I shouldn't say they're new. We've seen these before. It's just they are available here for us to use. Let's get a little altitude and take a little bit of look around. Now, I have to say, given the number of fields on this map, I really, really like this implementation of a 4X map. I really like 4X maps where we have what I call reasonably sized fields. Fields that people can play and use reasonable sized equipment, medium to small equipment, 6-7 meters at the largest, because anything bigger than that really gets expensive and really starts requiring some special treatment. Specialty sheds, lots of room to drive down the road, very wide roads, wide entrances into fields, and such. These fields, I feel, are manageable for just about any piece of machinery that is available in Farm Sim 22. And also, we can merge a lot of these fields into bigger fields for those players that are looking to have the big, massive machines and the big, massive fields. Now, for the sake of getting around in a timely manner, I have used easy dev controls to enable 8 times speed when running. So typically when we fly around the map, we're moving at 4 times the speed. So we are moving at double the times rate. So just to get around a little bit quicker. So we've got a sell point down below. I believe that's for wood. We got a little bit of a town here. A lot of these buildings are custom, which is really, really great to see. And all of these buildings, as best as I can tell, are also using the new texturing techniques. We've got some sell points down below there in the apartments. Got a bit of a schoolyard here with a playground area. Some athletic fields. Nice to see there. Got production points, some sell points here in town. And just really great sight lines. We've got sell points, all of these wonderful fields. Again, they can easily merge lots of these fields together into other areas. And then our playable area ends here at the river. But the way this map is set up with the distant scenery across the river is really well done. We have our spinnery below. We got a fair bit of forest down here to the south. Here we have the wood processor I mentioned that I knew was built into the map. And then right beside that, I do believe that that is a usable silo as well. Let's make our way over here to the arable farm at farmland ID 200. Sorry, I'm looking at field at 200. Okay, here we have the arable farm that I was mentioning, farmland ID 200. And we'll take a closer look at this when we do our drive around. We have our silo, we have some custom sheds here, and our farmhouse. Let's get a little bit of altitude. Here we have some sell points. Root crop sell point. We have a grain sell point. We have a wood chip sell point in there. Let's make our way down to our biogas plant. Now, in testing, I did buy the biogas plant, and I tried to sell the BGA. I was not successful. So the BGA, as best as I can tell, is built into the map. Then we have two 3-sided bunkers. Now we're making our way over here. This is the animal dealer, and several sell points are located here. Now it's a little bit misleading, I think. The preview video, the preview image when you load into the map is basically this shot, right? Something like this. That is the preview image. But that's a manure sell point, a manure buy point. We have a slurry sell point and buy point. We have a grain sell point. We have a bale sell point. Then we have our animal dealer here. So this looks like it could be a player farm, but it's not. So it can be misleading. At no point in time does it really kind of try to allude to the fact that it's not a player farm. But typically we do see on the preview image kind of a portion of the playable area. And below we have our stone crusher. Really well done map boundary because we just ran into it. And more of these reasonably sized fields, as I call them. And then let's make our way over here to the horse and chicken farm. It is located below. And again, everything at all three of these farms can be sold. Let's make our way back into town. We're going to find our vehicle dealer. Grain sell point. We've got a fueling point and sell point below. So we have our vehicle shop here in town. Let's go ahead and hit that trigger. We'll see where our vehicles spawn in at, and then our repair is actually around the other side of the building. So there we have our vehicle spawn in point. Kind of here in the big parking lot. Decent sized area for our vehicles to spawn in at, for sure. Then we've got a modest sized exit gate. So again, this map is really going to play toward the more medium to small sized machinery than the big kind of behemoth stuff. Then around the back, we have our maintenance trigger. This is going to be our dealer trigger for buy, sell, trade, repaint, and repairs. And let's head on out. Right across the street, we have ourselves a firehouse. There's some more decorative buildings. Here we have our bakery. Now, something I failed to mention during the fly around is this map includes 8 production points built in. We have the BGA sawmill, grain mill, dairy, spinnery, carpentry, bakery, and firewood processor. So there we have our dump point, out spawn point around the back, and interactive icon here at the side. Kind of an interesting bakery. It's making use of the grape processing area. And here we have a bit of land that is available for future construction. Like how we have mounds of kind of dirt and gravel here. But you can buy this, level it all out, and put future production area, another sell point, whatever your fancy strikes you. Over here we have our carpentry, if I am not mistaken. Indeed it is. We have our pallet spawn point, dump point, wood cell trigger over on the side, and our interactive icon. Over here we have storage. So this is going to be a transfer silo. We have our fill point for our trailer. We're going to have our dump point here. Now we have 2 dump points. So let's zoom in here. One of these is not like the other. So one is storage, one is selling. Wow. That is going to be dangerous. Let's get away from this a little bit and see which one is. This one is storage. Let's tag storage. Storage is as best as I can tell the last one. And the first one is a sell point. So that can be rather dangerous. To have storage dump and a sell point this close together. Be curious what you all think of that arrangement. If you're concerned of possibly accidentally selling something when you mean to store it. Well, here we have a grocery sell point. Right there, grocery store. In the train depot where we started out at. We have another sell point here. This store. Let's see here. Let's make our way this way. There's a lot going on up here in town. That's why I'm trying to figure out where we want to go next. So we have a fuel point located right here. And then across the street, we've got some sell points. Another supermarket sell point over there. Got a few sell points down kind of in this, I don't know if these are apartments or these are, I mean, they look like apartments with balcony setups. Here we have two sell points, very, very close together. They are identified as Cafe and Stampo Bistro. Then across the street we have Restaurant Ruiz. That, and then just take to the walking paths. No regard for public safety. Make our way over here. One more point of interest before we leave town. Verso wood. So we have a wood chip sell point. We have a log sell point. Wood cell trigger right there. Still a little in-cab driving on this, and see how things are. We want to make our way this way. We're going to go under the railroad tracks. And here we have our vehicle dealer, firehouse, and that's how we started going. Our main starting farm is up here on the left. So as far as our scoring goes, we're giving the map a full point with respect to production being built in or areas set aside for such, because we do have 8 production items And then we also have multiple areas where we can place production. And our main starting farm is back there in the woods. We're also giving the map a full point with respect to the ability to sell all of our basic crops, animal outputs, and production items. Because while we do have sugarcane, cotton, and olives physically removed from the map, those items are flat out not growable, so it's understandable that they're not also sellable. Would caution a little bit about the custom growth calendar and corn, because we are missing a planting schedule for corn. But of course, if you wanted to play this map and do corn at this point in time, you could always turn off the growth calendar kind of temporarily. Although I would suggest waiting to December to turn that back on, and I would suggest not planting anything after harvest, just so you don't accidentally plant something, turn the growth counter on, then have that crop kind of go into wither mode. Here we have a fuel point. And then at the convenience store, it is also a sell point. And across the interstate, here we have a grain sell point. Or is this? This might be the flour mill. Sorry. All right, this might be flour mill. In fact, it does look like the flour mill. Now, I went ahead and bought the flour mill because I wanted to see if we did have the ability to process rye. We do indeed have the ability to process rye into flour. So you see we have wheat, barley, rye, oat, and sorghum that we can now process into flour. We have our pallet spawn point. We have our dump point, and then of course we have our interactive icon. I have also gone ahead and bought the other two farms. So we'll be stopping off at those locations during our driving tour. And once again, I really do like the sizes of the fields on this map. We have a lot of fields and they are modest in size. I think this would be a really interesting multiplayer map for either someone who's willing to kind of play with others in a more smaller scale, or if you were looking to go big, right, you would need to kind of find some place out to build a farm, but you would have that option available. So over here on our right, we do have the horse and chicken farm. These are the only two animals that are pre-placed. So we have our horse pasture. We have our water point. Here at this container. Hold 6 horses. Then we have our food point here under the shed. And then, oh, look here. Oh, we got some of our collectibles. Really cool custom buildings here. Here we have another silo. So we have our fill point. And then, oh, this is neat. I like this. We have our dump point. Another one of these custom wooden sheds. We use to store vehicles, implements, and such. Some more vehicle storage. We have our chicken coop. 30 chickens are available here. We have our food. Now, where, oh, where do our eggs spawn? Where? I do not see that. Maybe upstairs. Oh, maybe right here. How about that? Oh, this is really cool. Could maybe a little spot for bale storage. Use a skid steer or something to come up into there. And then we have our sleep trigger here at the porch. Speedy traffic. I mean, we're on 60 and we're slowly catching this guy. So watch out. Watch out for speedy traffic on these side roads for sure. Coming up here to the animal dealer. And a plethora of sell points. Here we have bale and silage sell points. We have our animal dealer with animated cows. Always love to see the animated cows. Or any animated animal outside of our own animal pastures. We have our grain sell point. Here we have a buy and sell point for slurry. And a buy and sell point for manure. So if you're going to buy manure or sell it, buy slurry or sell it, you've got yourself covered there. Now let's talk about more of our scoring. We're giving the map at full point with respect to the ability to customize our farms, because again, we can sell everything on all 3 of the pre-built farms. It is also nice to see that all of the buildings, or at least a vast majority of the buildings that are also kind of pre-placed at these farms, are also available for placement. So if you want to rearrange things, or if you want to just find a nice little quiet corner of the map and put your own Finnish themed farm down, you have those buildings in order to do that. So we're going a little off-road country driving here, just to get over to our stone crusher. And I believe this is going to be our lime buy point. So indeed, here we have our lime buy silo. We have our stone crusher here. Really well done. Like the originality on this setup. With respect to buildings where appropriate, are using the new texture technique as well as ground textures. We are going to give the map a full point there as well. We do have a lot of custom buildings here on the map, and they are all using the new texturing technique, as best as I can tell from a fairly quick visual assessment. Lots of the buildings are also using the new 3D type windows. I have to give the windows a bit of depth and life to them. Here we have the BGA. So we have a methane buy point there. We have our dump point for digestate or fill point, dump point for slurry, dump point for silage. Here we can buy the BGA for a low cost of $1.2 million. Two large three-sided bunkers, and as I said during the fly around portion, none of this area I was able to sell, which isn't that big of a deal, but it does bear important to note this. If you are going to play on the map and you are looking to maybe customize the BGA area with pumps and hoses or some other sort of modular BGA. So make your way over here to another fuel point. Really interesting road network we've got set up here. So we have our fuel point there. And then the main road kind of continues around. We're going to hang left up here where these cars are coming from. So I'm going to make our way over here to the firewood processor. What's this called? What's this called? Yeah, I'm not pronouncing that road. So I do believe if you own the land, this is going to pop up as a usable silo. Then we have our firewood area. Right, so we have our interactive icon there. We have our dump point, our wood sell point. And then our firewood spawn point. There we have wood makes firewood. Fairly sure that is very, very similar to a mod that we already have in the Giants mod hub. I haven't done a lot of work with firewood due to my general aversion to forestry, but I do recall seeing something that looks like that. Let's make our way over here to the spinnery, which is next. So we have our dump point for our wool. We have our pallet point and interactive point right there. Let's make our way over to the other arable farm. It's located at farmland ID 100. I think that will just about do us. We got one more area after that. I'd love to know what your all's thoughts are on this particular map. Like I said, I think it's pretty cool. I love the fact that we don't have huge fields. So often we see 4X maps and they end up with 20 or 30 or maybe 40 fields, but they're all big. So it's fine for people that want to play with big stuff, but if folks want to get the feel, get the sense of being someplace vast where it takes a little while to drive around because there's decent distances to drive, but at the same time they don't have a lot of time to invest in working big fields, or they'd rather not kind of invest in that large machinery. Here we have our silo dump. Plenty of collectibles, I'll tell you that. Our silo fill point. This is our dump point. Very similar to the silo that we have at the main farm. Very similar sheds to what we have at the main farm. Right, with these collapsible, openable doors. Let's see where the trigger is on this one. So it's inside of this area and it extends out just a wee little bit. So again, I would like to see markers here just to indicate for the player exactly how far out that trigger extends. Got our farmhouse with our sleep trigger at the front door. And then a nice little shed, little garage for our pick-em-up truck. The ever elusive flying reindeer. Maybe one day Giants will fix that. Probably not. Hashtag won't fix. Hashtag, well, what's the problem? Maybe we'll use that one. Well, let's make our way over here. We've got something inside the forest. Let's try to get to. And then we'll wrap it up with player and interactive areas being clearly marked. I think we'll go ahead and give the map on that metric a score of 0.75 because we do have kind of a wishy-washy kind of area defined for our maintenance triggers. Like I said, I would like to see those markers clearly defined outside of the area. Ah, this is really cool. I guess this is like a sauna. I've seen some other saunas in some other yards, but really, these are really well done buildings. Gives you that just different sense of being here, right? Just a different buildings. We're not seeing the same thing time after time after time after time. So back 0.75. Would like to see those areas a bit more clearly marked to let players know that they don't have to be all the way up inside of that shed in order to do their customizing and repairs. And here we have a multitude of cell triggers. So here we have a root crop cell triggers, potatoes and beets. Over here. Oh, sorry. Over here, we have wood chips. And then we have a grain dump. That is going to be it, people. Let me know your thoughts down in the description below for Sariola, a 4X Finnish map. Is this a map you're looking to add to your playlist? Would you be interested in doing a multiplayer on this map with a couple of like-minded individuals? If you do, are you going to go big school or are you going to go small school with your machinery? Let me know down in the comments below. Again, what you think of this map, how you might be playing it, if you are going to be playing it. And until next time, happy farming. Oh, just before we go, there we have our second stone sell point. Over here by field 103 and 120.